Hey, hello guys. We have a new challenge coming today versus Mr. Fall Lancer. So we are playing 10 plus 5. And we have an open Sicilian right in front of us. And I'm going to choose Knight c6. Let's play Knight c6. Never experienced too much with this Sicilian, called the classical Sicilian. So yeah, maybe it's time. Why not? So basically I'm putting pressure against his center, and I'm keeping my pawn structure flexible. In these positions I might choose to play to fianchetto my bishop on g7, and then it will be kind of just a dragon variation. But he played bishop g5. Now I can play g6, but it's a bit problematic, so let's go with a solid e6. I'm kind of forking myself, but I always have the move bishop e7, so it shouldn't be that much of a big deal. We have Mr. Chess Network watching our game. Pretty cool. So wow, he's higher rated than me. Let's see. No, he's not rated in classic. Yeah, his rapid rating is higher than me. Wow. Very strong player. Queen d2. Okay. What should I choose? Let's play a6. It's also possible to play with bishop e7, but I wanted to choose a specific setup here with the move. Maybe bishop d7. I want to push b5, but so I have to protect my knight on c6. So bishop d7, yeah, I think it's a theoretical move. Yeah, let's go bishop d7, see what happens. So white basically needs to choose whether to go f3 or f4. f4 is the more aggressive move. I will go with b5 now. I want to create some counterplay on the queen side. Very typical Sicilian stuff. His main move here, if I recall correctly, is bishop takes knight, trying to double my pawn structure, because if I cannot really take with my queen, because then he will have e5. And yeah, so if queen takes, then e5, d takes e5, the d file gets opened, and I'll have some trouble, so I have to take with the pawn. Yes, f5. Okay, so I'm not sure if this move's supposed to be played right now, but it's a sensible move. He wants to create pressure on my pawn on e6 and maybe try to force me to play e5, which is a move I don't want to do, because then I weaken my d5 square. The only disadvantage of the move f5 is that it weakens the dark square. So for example, this diagonal might be open for my bishop at some point, and the e5 square can be used by me also at the proper moment. So for now, what should I play? I'm really not sure the move f5 is supposed to be played so early. You should play some prophylactic move prior to this. I might be wrong though. Okay, let's play queen b6. Seems like a sensible move. Basically, I would be happy to swap off some pieces. If he might take on c6 himself, then I would probably recapture my bishop, and my bishop will be ready to fire on his pawn on e4. So this pawn structure is quite delicate. So if black kind of manages to maintain this pawn structure, it's very solid. But if I'm forced to go to push e5, then it's much more problematic, because I'll have a lot of holes. So my aim on the next moves is to preserve the integrity of my pawns, basically. Okay, king b1 was played. Yeah, so he's playing kind of all of the correct moves. So now I have this choice. So b4 is the move I would like to do in general, but maybe I'm only helping his knight to maneuver itself to a better square. So let me play queen c5. Might look like a strange move, but actually at some point I want to bring my queen to e5, which you might notice it's a very strong outpost, and from there the queen might also assist me to protect my pawn on e6. Yes, bishop d3. Just a developing move. Not too much argue with that. Yeah, I'm very much inexperienced with this kind of positions as black. I'm wondering whether should I go h5 or not, because it does create some ideas of going bishop h6 to develop my bishop, but I'm still not sure whether I really want to do this, because it will weaken my pawn on d6 a bit. And of course b4 is the kind of the move which is kind of always possible in those positions. Okay, I'm not sure, but let's go b4. I'll try to create some counterplay on the queen side. He will obviously go knight e2. Who is this guy? He played very few games on Lichess. Usually I don't like picking up those opponents, because it's kind of still unclear whether they are legitimate players. But yeah, never mind. So yes, knight e2. So on the next move he might play knight f4 or take on e6 and then knight f4. So I'm wondering whether I should go e5 right now to kind of block off those options. I feel like I need to play this move. Okay, e5. Once again, I'm not 100% sure. But now that the knight is away from the d5 square, I think it's more legitimate to try and play this move. The knight is also find it difficult to reach d5. So the main plan for white in this kind of positions, I believe, is to expand on the king side, maybe to play a move like g4, h4, try to attack me on this side of the board. Another idea for him is to try and maneuver his knight into a better squares, perhaps on h5, trying to attack my pawn on f6. I don't see any more plans. Maybe to try and push c3 at some point and to play on the queen side of the board is also an idea. But in order to play this, you will have to probably use a preparatory move like rook c1. Very interesting position, I must say. I think I've played this exact position maybe 10 times, but only with the white pieces. I think with black I've never experimented in this kind of positions. This is a very strategical battle here. It's white's, let's say, biggest dream in this kind of positions is to somehow exchange the light squared bishop. You might notice that his bishop on d3 is quite passive, he's not doing anything too significant. So you would like to exchange this bishop for this bishop. Mine is much more active, and somehow to plant his knight on the d5 square. Then white will have a strategically winning position. So yeah, he decided to go for c3, which is interesting because I must say it's not the most typical plan in this variation, but it makes sense. My queen on c5 is a bit exposed, so he wants to open up the c file. So now I have a bit of a choice. Should I take on c3, which will help him to bring his knight into a better position? Should I play a move like a5, just maintaining everything, which makes sense? Because then if we will take on b4, I would have the option of taking with the pawn, opening up my file for my rook. Let's go a5, see what happens. So now I would expect the move rook c1 from him, if he already played the move c3. Because otherwise the move c3 is very good for me actually. It might help me open up some lines against his king. So the only sensible move here is yeah, rook c1. Yeah, he's playing actually very well. So now, if I'm not mistaken, and I might be mistaken, but I think the most precise move for me here is actually b3, which looks strange, but the idea is to basically sacrifice this pawn in order not to allow him to open up lines against my queen. Obviously now pawn takes pawn is a threat, is a big threat. My pieces will get skewered. Let's go b3. I feel like I have to. Because yeah, you cannot really deny the offer. Now once his pieces are kind of lined up on the same diagonal, it really makes me want to play h5. Once again, I'm always kind of not sure whether it's useful for me or not. I don't want to play a4 because then it will have immediately b4. So yeah, time is running a bit low. Tough choice. Should I just play rook b8 maybe and attack on the b file? It's also an option. But it's very easy for him to protect this pawn. I don't feel like there is something special about this. You know what, let's try. I want to see how exactly he wants to protect this pawn. Because if he plays queen c2, then I don't need the move h5. I could always play the move bishop h6 in one tempo. And if he plays bishop c2, I'm also happy, because then he can never play bishop c4, which is a much more active square for this piece, obviously. It's a very interesting position. That's the kind of position I want to sit and think about for 20 minutes, but I only have 3. Yeah, but that's life. Also, pushing d5 kind of makes sense, because I possess the 2 bishops advantage. So definitely, in theory, I should be happy to open up the position. But it's also compromising my king position. Let's go h5. I'll see what happens. I would really have to kind of stick to my intuition here, even though it might mislead me. So this is a threat, but it's he will play rook d1 probably, which is a very useful move anyways. So rook d1. I might push my pawn even one step forward just to deny this square for his knight. I also might play the move king e7, which might look like a bizarre move, but I'm not going to castle in this game, obviously. I don't have any safe spot for my king. Let's go king e7. This way I am also protecting my pawn on d6, so I'm liberating my bishop to be developed, because before that my pawn was hanging. Very curious position, I must say. That's I'm a pawn down, but it's everything which happens, which is kind of everything is unclear in this position. It's very difficult to understand what's going on. Okay, let's go bishop h6. I feel like I have to do this at some point. By the way, this move knight c1 was nice. He's maybe trying to maneuver it to d3. So queen e2. So the pawn is not really hanging, because I'll have this bishop takes c1 move. But his next move is definitely knight d3. Can I really do something about it? Probably not too much. Time is running low. I have to make a decision. Let's go h4. This move might help me in the future to target those pawns, because now whenever this pawn moves, I'll have some pressure on the g file. So knight d3 is definitely his move at this point. From d3 it actually might also go to f2, maybe g4 even, who knows. But the most precious square for this knight is definitely d5. But as you might notice, it's quite unreachable at the moment. We are approaching kind of time trouble. I am only down to 1 minute and 46 seconds. It's also interesting whether exchanging the queens is good for me or not. It's also a question I really don't have a clear answer about. I kind of feel that this is okay for me going for the endgame. I have a lot of activity. Also, I don't think you can really avoid the exchange of queens. Let's try queen e3. Don't have too much time anyways. The pawn on e4 is also a very relevant target for me. Now this is a threat. He will probably play a move some rook to e1. Yeah, so rook, this rook, and now should I keep my bishop on this diagonal or this diagonal? That's a tricky question. I think I will keep it on this one, just because I want to maintain control over this square, which means I'll have to go all the way to a7, probably. Why time is so goddamn low? Okay, let's go to b6, just to be prepared for this kind of move. He really wants to play b4 at some point. I know for sure. Yeah. So now I have a chance to activate my pieces a bit. The opponent is playing very well in this game, I must say. Playing extremely resourcefully, let's say. Rook d2. Now I really want to activate my rook. I'm not even sure that this actually creates any threats, but I feel like the pressure on e4 is important. Pawn takes pawn. Okay. Now this is also a threat. Position is very, very interesting. I really like this game. So he has two hanging pawns right now, and it's an interesting question which one of these will he choose to kind of protect. But maybe white has a super sophisticated move at this position, which I still don't see. If the e4 pawn falls, I will have a very nice central majority. He chooses to play b4. Fine, but I can take the pawn, right? The pawn is pinned. How should I take it? Yeah, both captures seems good. This one is more risky, the bishop. Let's take with the rook. I'm kind of approaching time trouble. Because if I take with the bishop, I might have... my pieces are slightly more kind of hanging. And in time trouble, you really don't want the pieces to be hanging. That I can tell for sure. Knight b2. Excellent move. Yeah, so we reach this end game. I also have to spend another tempo. Yeah, the end game, I think it's quite unpleasant for me, because now the knight once again might maneuver itself to the d5 square. My opponent played amazingly in this game, must say. Really hope he's a legitimate player. Yeah, time is also killing me. I have to create counterplay. Yeah, my position I think is very bad at this point. His knight reached his dream square, like we talked about throughout this game. Material is now equal, but his pieces just dominate my pieces. Yeah, look at the difference between this knight and this bishop. Just don't match. Okay, I have to try to activate my rook. I'll try to go maybe kind of go around. Almost a perfect game by my opponent. Let's check. I don't know why, but let's check. Now I have to try and bring my rook from behind to stop those pawns. My position is strategically losing here. Probably will play rook a2, trying to activate his rook right now. King b3. Yeah, next move is definitely going to be a check. Ah, darn it. Yeah, let's push a passed pawn. I don't have too much to lose at this point. Maybe I should have gone to c8. Doesn't really matter. I just have to play quickly at this point. Now... yeah. Bishop takes b6. He have rook e8 check. Sneaky, sneaky bastard. Let's push my pawn. This position is awfully complicated. Now I can take it. At least my bishop got liberated. Yeah, now I can post it on a more active square. Let's do it. Yeah, I kind of feeling a bit relieved. Now my bishop is on d4. Now I can breathe. Before that, I was really worried the b pawn is going to kill me. Okay, no time. Damn it. Check. Check. c5 or e5. Yeah, probably e5. Okay, let's try to liquidate some pawns. Not sure if that's the best strategy, but so long time. So he is having a pawn up, but my bishop on e5 is kind of giving me some hopes to hold the his knight on d5 is of course also very strong, but at least my position is stable at this point. Rook b7. Why b7? I can just take the pawn, no? Oh, he wants to activate his king. Oh, I made a big mistake. Or no, I think I'm okay. Knight g4. Yeah, I think I'm still good. He's playing too damn accurately. Either he's extremely strong player or just using the engine. I don't know. No, I know people don't like me accusating people for for this kind of things, but it's kind of playing extremely well. I hope I can hold this to a draw, but really I'm not sure about anything anymore. Now we'll probably play knight f7. So he's low on time. Now also knight e8. Okay, I'll have to eliminate this pawn. But this should be a draw, no? Let's place my bishop far away. Yeah. This damn time. Yeah, that was a bad move. Oh, come on. Yeah, I'm going to lose this one. The knight is sheltered from all checks. Very tough game. I have to check this. He played amazingly. Let's use request computer analysis. See what the engine thinks about this game. I'm very curious. So I made 2 blunders, no, more. Okay. Very interesting game. I'm really happy about it. I think even though I lost, many interesting points were there, but he played extremely well, this guy. Yeah, I made this blunder on the move number 68. I had few seconds left. Yeah, Danjin said it's just a draw. Yeah, I should have protected from the longer diagonal, maybe bishop c1, bishop h6. Yeah, so he made more blunders in inaccuracies than I was thinking. He played extremely well. Well, so until one point we played well, but yeah, this was a very critical point. Now I should have the engine said that I should even not take the pawn at all, just drop it, play bishop c7 and kind of keep the options, I guess. Yeah, because after I took with my rook, this position, yeah, he found all of those moves, knight b2, so quickly. Yeah, he played on a very good level this game. Apparently not perfect, but extremely high level. Very critical point. Yeah, b6 was a strange mistake. Now I was in time to eliminate this piece. And I was kind of holding fine, apparently, until that. Yeah, h3 was apparent. Oh, I should have played rook b3. Oh, of course, and eliminate the other pawn. This makes tons of sense. But you know, he played actually very well. I think that was a very good match. This is a good game. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. I definitely enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good battle until the very last moves. Obviously, apparently I blundered on move number 68. But that's fair enough. Good game. Hope you enjoyed it. See you guys next time. Bye bye.